sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Florida.
On this warm holiday Sunday in Miami, the Angels and Marlins finish off a 3-game series. Marlins got game 1. Angels answered yesterday afternoon. And a 1 o'clock start here. Interleague baseball. Jose Urena going to try to figure out a way to slow down Mike Trout, keep him in the ballpark. Hi, everybody. Rich Welts along with Todd Hollingsworth for Miami. And the slide that they've had, one step at a time, and the Marlins were unable to win consecutive games, but they can win a series, which would be, it would feel like a milestone if they could do it today.
Well, if you even look at the last the pattern that they've been in over the last week, which is a great game, and well, maybe not so good. That's it. Well, they're due. I mean, today's their day. 2 days ago, they were outstanding. Good pitching, great offense. You're hoping for the same today. Now,
you saw the youngster there fishing for Mike Trout, or maybe an autograph. For Marlin fans, their first glimpse really of Trout here, and it's been fun to watch. Giancarlo Stanton and Mike Trout, two very marketable stars, two of the most powerful players in the game, and we've seen them both leave the yard at a long distance.
Well, this is why these two guys are paid the way they are. They're the best players in the game. Giancarlo, great example of power, certainly the low zone. You know, the one thing that stands out, these swings are so similar between Stanton and Trout, is just the ability to take a pitch at the lower part of the zone, get through it, kind of drop and drive, and get great extension. 460 feet leaves a mark on the center field backdrop. My goodness, and how about this one yesterday? A little two-seam fastball right there, tails out over the plate, and you see that back shoulder tuck in to the uppercut swing. 443. Goodness, a lot of distance.
That's the power portion of our telecast. Let's get right into the pitching portion of the telecast. You got a pair of right-handers here. Matt Shoemaker has pitched really well his last 3 starts, and Jose Urena has probably been Miami's most consistent starter since he joined the rotation.
Right. Well, his last start, not a great one, but again, did stay aggressive inside the strike zone. That's what you need to see. He's going to have to command the right-handed batters. It's actually who he struggled against this year. The Angels have a few hot ones in their lineup. For Matt Shoemaker, he's been outstanding on a great run, has won his last 3 starts.
All right, let's do this, shall we? It's Angels, it's Marlins on a holiday Sunday. Top of the order for the Fish. Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton in that 2 spot again here today as Miami faces Mike Trout and the Angels. Bullpen, the American Forces Network, and especially here on Memorial Day weekend, 75th year of broadcasting to American military personnel overseas in more than 170 countries, naval ships at seas. Welcome to all those who are watching, and thank you for all that you do. Interleague baseball in this one. It's Marlins and it's Angels, and we start things out in center field.
Here we go.
Craig Minervini, Jeff Nelson.
All right, thank you very much, Rich. And we welcome you back here. Angels and the Marlins get set for game number 3 of this series. We'll take a look at the top of the lineup for the Marlins. They were explosive in game 1. And in game 2, the offense is a little quieter, but a couple of items you wanted to point out here.
Well, especially the top 4 hitters, 14 for 32 right there. Nice changeup, 3-2 outer part, nice extension Stanton. And then on Friday, the 3 doubles by Christian Yelich ties a club record. Then you have Ozuna with a 9th inning home run yesterday, just over the glove of Calhoun. You know, you look at this lineup, you know, we heard Sosa talk about the almost American League style lineup. The 1 through 4 hitters so far, 438, the 4 doubles, 2 home runs in this series, 7 runs scored. We can even extend that a little bit further and go 1 through 6. Justin Bour, one of the hottest hitters in May. And then also your boy, I like him as well, JT, Real Muto. I mean, 1 through 6 it is. I mean, I agree with Sosa. I think this is American League style lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 through 6 definitely, and maybe you add the 7 and 8 hole hitters when the Marlins get healthy. You know, this is a tough team to face.
Well, you hope JT Riddle will bat leadoff for the first time in his career as D. Gordon gets the day off. We're set for baseball here on this Memorial Day weekend. The Angels and the Marlins, the Fish won game 1 of the series. The Angels came back to take game 2, series at stake, before the Phillies come calling tomorrow. Ball game coming up next.
Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep, get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance events. By the Florida Department of Transportation, drive sober or get pulled over. And by your local Toyota dealers, let's go places. On a warm Sunday in Miami, holiday weekend in full swing. Angels and Marlins finish off this weekend series. Phillies are in tomorrow. Jose Urena is in today. Urena and JT Realmuto will face this Angels order. Cameron Maben in the leadoff spot. He's hot, and he especially is tough on the fish. Andrelton Simmons is red hot, a 9-game streak. Mike Trout hit a ball a country mile yesterday. Luis Valbuena gets a start at third. No Albert Pujols in this ball game for the Angels. Cole Calhoun in right. Martin Maldonado has played very well in this series. Jeffrey Marte is at first base. Nolan Fontana, former Gator, is at second base. Matt Shoemaker is in the 9 spot. Southwest is proud to present the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And here is Miami's defense this afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Marlins fans. Here is your Marlins defense. Ozuna gets the start in left field. Yelich in center. Stanton over in right as usual. Dietrich, Riddle, Colon gets the start at second base. No D. Gord today. Justin Bour, JT Realmuto, and Urena on the mound.
And there he is, Jose Urena.
See the numbers, 2-2, 3.08 ERA. He's been very good as a starter, although his last start was a bit of a rough one. 5 innings, 4 hits, 6 earned runs. Now did give up a couple homers, hit by a pitch, couple of walks. As a starter, 3.57 ERA. He's been good. Loves to use the fastball. You're going to see the slider and the changeup as well. Big pitches for him. But commanding the inside corner to right-handed hitters with the fastball will be the key today, as this Angels lineup has a lot of right-handed bats in it.
Of course, the Angels yesterday afternoon, a 5-2 win over the Marlins. A ball game in which Mike Trout homered early. JC Ramirez was terrific. Marlins bullpen gave up some runs late. An 8-5 win for Miami on Friday night. That was a night that Giancarlo Stanton, JT Realmuto, and Justin Bour all homered. Mike Scioscia and the Angels right now just trying to stay within shooting distance of the Houston Astros. A 9-game lead for the Astros with a gaudy 34-16 record. Marlins know all about the Astros, who came in here and swept them. Don Mattingly's ball club just trying to stop the snowball from rolling downhill. A win on Friday night stopped it. Last night, the loss and a chance to win the series. To do that, they're going to have to figure out how to get Cameron Maybin out and Andrelton Simmons out. The top of the order for the Angels has really hurt the Marlins. Simmons has 4 hits. Maybin did everything yesterday, and of course Mike Trout has been Mike Trout.
Yeah, that's the specifics, the 1-2-3 combination. Well, it's the same combination in today's ball game. Yesterday, 6 for 12, 3 walks, 5 runs scored. Yeah, the Angels scored 5 runs yesterday. So all of the damage really being generated by the top 3 hitters in this Angels lineup.
Maybin swings at the first pitch, fouls it off. This ball game is underway. Cameron, the former Marlin, had an outstanding year in Detroit last year. Slow start for the Angels, but his last 2 weeks, he has been in a torrid run. And he flips that one foul and out of play. Last 10 games, Maybin is hitting .436. Didn't play in game 1 of the series. 3 runs, a stolen base, a triple. 2 for 4 yesterday.
Yeah, well, and missed that start because of a sore right knee. Came out of the game in Tampa early. With that being said, you know, I thought maybe he might be a little bit slower, but jumped right back in there. Was all over it yesterday. Hit a breaking ball down the right field line. That tells you how locked in he is right now.
Urena, that fastball misses in, and he comes right back in. 96. And the key there is the movement that he gets on that fastball.
Well, it's great to see. I talked about being able to get under the hands of the right-handed batters, but it's not too much. It's pitching in there to get strikes. Remember, he can't have that 2-seamer with all that velocity tailing too far inside. Those are balls. He needs to be able to command the inside corner. Great example of it so far right here in this at-bat. Saw 3 fastballs in, all for strikes.
Andrelton Simmons now just as hot as Maybin, and he pounds one off his foot, it looks like. Back up, and the count's 0-1. Simmons, a 9-game hit streak, 4 hits in this series. He's also driven in 3 runs. Of course, players on this holiday weekend wearing the military-themed caps, jerseys. You see the Angels in the gray with the camo lettering on the front and the back. Got the camo cleats. Got the cool camo socks for a lot of players. Simmons hits a high pop that draws Dietrich and Riddle to the wall, and it's about 8 rows in.
6 pitches into this ball game, Urania absolutely knows, playing off his last start, what he wasn't able to do, and he's been so incredibly deliberate to the first 2 hitters. Seen nothing but fastballs in on their hands.
Got him. Urania, a breaking ball, and it backed up, but that was effective.
Well, it was effective because the 2 previous fastballs, yeah, it backs up just a little bit, but again, at 83 miles an hour after seeing 95 on your hands twice is going to be effective.
Two hitters, 2 strikeouts, and here is Trout, who bopped one up to the Budweiser bar. StatCast had it in the 430 range. Hit Tracker online added probably about 25-30 feet to that home run. Regardless, it was an impressive shot. Low fastball and a fly ball down the line. Stanton's over, and it peels out of play. Ball and a strike. Trout now with 16 homers, 342 average. And if you open up the web page or the sports page and check the Sunday averages and leaders, there is a Trout sitting on top of just about every important one in the American League. Home runs, he's the leader. Batting average, he's the leader. Total bases, he's the leader. Slugging percentage, yep, that's him too. On base percentage, absolutely. And if you add obviously on base and slugging, OPS, Trout above and beyond anybody right now in the game.
He's reached base in 15 consecutive ball games. On base percentage over 500, 8 homers, 15 RBIs. I think that's another way of saying what you just said.
Now there's no Pujols behind him. We'll see how that wrinkle affects his at bats here. Luis Valbuena hitting a robust 176. He's in the cleanup spot. And he chases a low fastball. Full count, 3-2. That one zips in at 97.
Right back in there.
That previous pitch, actually a changeup. When it came in, it'll come in the low 90s or the upper 80s.
Right, that's the separation he has because he does throw so hard. 97 miles an hour. Saw it right there on that last fastball to Trout, but that changeup will get in there at 89, 90 miles an hour as well.
Got him. Little slider. 3 up, 3 down, and all 3 punch outs. Jose Urena comes out and punches out the first 3 that he faces. And the Marlins go to work on a hot pitcher themselves. Southwest Airlines brings you Miami's order. D. Gordon not in the lineup today. JT Riddle is at short and leading off. Giancarlo Stanton's in right. Christian Yelich is in center field. Marcell Ozuna in the cleanup spots. Very good at home. 8 of his home runs here in this ballpark. Justin Bour, terrific May. JT Realmuto, day game after night game. Derek Dietrich's at third. Christian Colon gets Gordon's spot at second. He's hitting 8th. And Jose Urena slotted 9th. This guy, last 3 starts, very good.
Yeah, 145 over those 3 starts. You see the numbers on the season: 4-2, 397, 56 solid innings, 55 punch outs. Now he is prone to giving up the long ball occasionally. He's been good lately, but 10 home runs allowed. Is a fly ball pitcher, so we'll see if that factors in. We've had a lot of conversation about home runs in this series and over the last week or so. See if the Marlins can't find a few long balls today.
Matt Shoemaker, a 1.45 in those 3 starts. And he goes to work on Riddle and misses outside. So JT in the leadoff spot. There's been a lot of firsts for Riddle this year. His first major league appearance, first major league home run, that walk-off shot. And now that he's settled in, he's been very consistent offensively and outstanding defensively.
Well, he's starting to grow, and that's the fun part of this, is that JT Riddle is now growing into a big leaguer. First, he was trying to survive his first trip here.
Bounces it out towards second. That's Nolan Fontana there today. And Shoemaker has the first out of the first. Here's the defense for the Angels.
Yeah, let's see that Angels defense. Maven is going to make the start in left field today. Mike Trout, a lot of conversation about him all series long. Calhoun over in right. Valbuena, Simmons, Fontana, and Marte gets the start over at first base today. Maldonado behind the dish. Shoemaker on the mound.
Giancarlo Stanton now. Check swing, ball into the seats. Let's hope everybody's okay. And the count's 0-1. Stanton homered on Friday night. Angels infield is as normal as I've seen this year against Stanton.
Well, that may be in part because of who's pitching today as well. Fly ball pitcher in Shoemaker. Fastball slider split. Does throw an occasional knuckle curveball. In case you were wondering, you'll see one every now and again.
And he throws that split a lot.
About 30% of the time, so it's very effective. In fact, he may tell you it's his most effective pitch. He's a very vertical pitcher. Works the top of the zone well with the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Will get all the way to that splitty, the tumbler, as I'll call it. Hitter's only hitting 159 against it.
Stanton goes down and gets it and drills it deep. Gone. 1-0 Miami. That got vertical in a hurry.
It sure did. Goodness. We saw Giancarlo Stanton take about the same type of velocity to center field earlier in the series. Watch the tumbler. There it is. That's the splitty, but it doesn't tumble. Not far enough. Giancarlo Stanton down to the knees. Great extension. See the high finish right there? That's down into the zone, back up through, and a long, long home run to left center field.
His 13th. Here is Yelich. And I think Giancarlo Stanton's kind of liking this hitting second. Don Mattingly may have stumbled upon something here. Yelich has got 4 hits in the series, 3 of them doubles. Shoemaker tries to come in with a breaking ball and misses outside. 401 feet. The exit velocity 106 miles an hour. Mere child's play for Stanton.
Yes.
Shoemaker with a split that misses out.
And the best part of that conversation he's having with D. Gordon, D walked over and said, "Hey, did you get all that?" And he's like, "Nah, I didn't get it all." 401 feet.
Yelich goes after a fastball, lifts it to left. Maben over, and Cameron Maben makes the catch. That's part of it, right? I mean, Stanton, when he hits him, he's busy running around the bases. But when he gets back to the dugout, everybody wants to give him the description of where it went, how high it went.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. In this day and age, you know, this year we've seen so many home runs throughout baseball. Not just Giancarlo Stanton; it's his 13th. Baseball home runs are up all across the board, but we are. I mean, he's a polarizing figure. We watch him, and we are curious with every inch, every swing, every how he gets it type of thing. I mean, that's Giancarlo Stanton. That's what he brings to the table every day. Many of us still waiting around to see 500, 510, 520, and to think he can't do that consistently, it's.
But wait till we get to Denver.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. I didn't want to go there because that's late September, so that day's going to come.
Yeah, that's where it really gets fun. He's had some of the longest home runs at Coors Field's history. 1-1 pitch to Ozuna. And it's fouled back to the screen. So a 1-0 start. Ozuna in the cleanup spot. Bohr is hitting fifth. Realmuto behind him. Stanton's second homer of this series. Two balls, two strikes. Of course, tomorrow, part of the holiday weekend. Phillies tomorrow night here at Marlins Park. Ozuna takes one down low, and the count runs full. Shoemaker out of Trenton, Michigan. You talk about a guy that was an underdog. Late round draft pick, not him. Wasn't drafted, signed as a free agent, undrafted, out of Eastern Michigan. Ozuna pops it up. Right field, charging in is Calhoun. And he's under it and makes the catch. Miami's on the board. Giancarlo Stanton got a split finger fastball and didn't miss it. And Miami's off to a 1-0 start. for the fish. Hope your holiday's going well. Glad you've joined us here. We'll be here all day. Save us something for later, shall you?
Hot dog, hamburger, something.
Whatever you're having, just save us a little bit. And hopefully we'll both find a pool to jump in on this hot Sunday here in Miami. Luis Valbuena, Cole Calhoun, and Martin Maldonado. Jose Urena moving feet with a fastball that's in, and that's one of the things that Juan Nieves really likes about Urena. He's not afraid to pitch in, not afraid to move feet, and then a fastball like that gets popped up to third. Dietrich is there, and he makes the catch.
Well, he stays aggressive with that fastball despite what the game situation may tell you, or the swings hitters may be taking against him. So far today, the first pitch to all 4 hitters has been a fastball to the inside corner.
We saw that against Oakland. That was an interesting start because at times he looked like he had good stuff going, but he got dinged on a couple of home runs. Yonder Alonso and Ryan Healy.
Part of that was he got jumped a little bit, and at the same time, you know, he lives so close to that edge, especially with his command, that when he was off, he fell behind a few hitters and got into some hitters counts. And again, speaking to that aggressiveness that he displays, especially with the fastball, he got touched up a little bit.
Oh, 0-2 to Calhoun. The Angel right fielder has yet to really get going this year. Count 1-2. Buckeye, Arizona. That's home for Calhoun. It's a guy that in 2015 popped 26 home runs. Last year a 271, 348, 438 slash line. He was in there for 157 games. Gold Glove in 2015 as well. Good pitch, outside part. Calhoun tried to hook it, and Urena tags him out. On this Memorial Day weekend, tomorrow is a Salute and Serve Monday, and we invite all those who serve us to join us for a ball game. Active and retired U.S. military personnel, veterans, firemen, police receive 2 complimentary tickets when showing their official service IDs at the Marlins Park ticket office. For more information, visit marlins.com/promotions. Maldonado, first pitch, in.
It's been deliberate today. He's really opened it up. And again, his slider's been okay. I'm not going to even say it's been his best slider that we've seen, but it's been effective because of the separation. 97 miles an hour on the fastball, 83 miles an hour on the slider.
Breaking ball, Maldonado was all over it.
Way out in front.
He fired it a little bit early. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike. There's that changeup that dies down low, and it is 2-1.
Maldonado had an impressive first game in this series. Home run and a double. Swinging the bat better this year.
Three balls and a strike. I love it with the camo lettering. We talked about it yesterday. When you look at a uniform, it looks like all of a sudden your picture's gone black and white.
Yes.
Players have the camo socks, camo caps, and again, both online at MLB.com and at ballparks across the country. Here at Marlins Park, the team store, there's one outside where you don't necessarily have to buy a ticket to get in. Those socks made by Stance, caps, new era. You can purchase those and proceeds will go to help the troops. Three-two is right down the middle. And Urena, razor sharp here to start this Sunday afternoon. 6 hitters, all retired, 4 with punch-outs. Justin Bourne, JT Realmuto, Derek Dietrich all lined up, ready to go. Marlins have had a good first inning against the Angels in every one of these ball games. 6 of their 11 runs now are first inning runs. And that's a good indication that John Chimchuk, our baseball historian, is on the job. And in holiday form, Bourne homered on Friday night. It seems like he's in a slump when he doesn't hit a home run. That's how well he's been going. He did not homer yesterday. He was 0 for 4. It'll be interesting to watch Bourne against the splitter. He's done so well against changeups and breaking balls that if Shoemaker leaves a split up,
I'm not sure he even has to leave it up the way Justin Bourne is seeing the baseball right now. He'll even get that great extension. He'll go down and get some stuff too. As long as it's not below the knees, he'll get good extension and stay through it. That's how locked in he's been.
Oh, he got one there. Shoemaker was able to get it in on his hands a bit. Calhoun makes the catch in right field. Auto Nation brings you the scouting report on this fascinating 30-year-old.
Yeah, it really is. Matt Shoemaker had a career scare last year. September 5th, 2016, was hit by a 105-mile-an-hour line drive off the bat of Kyle Seager up in Seattle. And just an absolutely scary time around baseball, certainly for Matt Shoemaker and his family. It was a life-and-death situation. Had to have emergency surgery. Well, as you see, he's back, and he's on a roll. No doubt about it. 1.45 ERA over those last 3 ball games, all wins. Has been pitching very well, and what you've seen so far from him today is a vertical strike zone, as I talked about. See that right there, which is a lot of times setting up that split finger fastball, what he wants to do. He wants to work top to bottom.
JT homered on Friday night to right field. No swing on the check. And it is 2-0. His average still over 300. Shoemaker thought he had a strike. And it's 3-0. Pitch. That's a strike. Shoemaker, last time out on a Tuesday in St. Pete's, helped shut out the Rays 4-0. Pitched into the 7th in that ball game. Struck out 5, gave up just 3 hits.
Does have one career start against the Marlins. Came a few seasons ago, back in August 2014. 7 innings, no earned runs, 6 Ks. So does have some history, although not with many of these Marlins.
And down goes JT. So Shoemaker gets his first strikeout. You talked about the line drive that he took off the head. That was Kyle Seager in Seattle that hit the ball. Good pitch here.
You see it right there, right out to the outside corner, just barely on that corner. JT Realmuto. If you think back to the home run he hit in this series, very similar set of sequencing going on right there. Came up empty this time.
Shoemaker was hit. The ball was a rocket, well over 100 miles an hour. Dietrich takes up. He actually left the field on his own power and was taken to a Seattle hospital. The problem was they detected bleeding in the brain, and they had to do emergency surgery to stop the bleeding in the brain.
A very interesting story. He tells it over at the Players Tribune. You can check that out online.
Yeah, that is. You're right.
Well documented, and he talks. He literally stepped completely aware of the entire process, and I guess that's the thing that amazed me the most about the story, is the incredible detail that he was able to provide, as you noted, because he was there the whole time. He remembers it. I mean, he even talks about getting hit by the baseball and never really hearing it, but never losing, consciousness or anything else. I mean, they went out and asked him questions right away. 30 seconds into this, as the medical staff raced out there, he had all the answers.
1-2. Dietrich swinging a pitch down low. For Derek Dietrich, it's been a frustrating run trying to get going here. In the absence of Martin Prado, he's getting plenty of playing time. For whatever reason, it just hasn't clicked in. Another low ball, and Dietrich flips it towards Valbuena, who throws him out. 1-2-3 for Shoemaker in the second.
1-0 Fish. We go to the top of the third. The superstar sluggers both said they want to keep each other in the ballpark. Hasn't worked out that well. Here's Trout on Stanton.
Yeah, no, it's see him watching hit BP right now. It's got to see him a little bit in the Derby last year, and obviously his power is unbelievable. Watch him on ESPN with the long homers he hits. Hopefully he don't hit some off us, but he's a great player and a great dude.
And guys, Trout told us he used to come to Florida to play in Tampa mostly in baseball tournaments, but really likes it here on the east side, likes playing in the Marlins Park under the roof, and we'll see if we'll see him in the Home Run Derby coming up in a little over a month.
Well, he's a Jersey guy, Craig. So
yes.
He likes the East Coast, that's for sure. Yeah, you'd love to see him in that Home Run Derby. Jeffrey Marte getting a start on the infield. He's at first base. Albert Pujols, an off day today. This is a long road trip, although in terms of interleague play, it's a nice fit for the Angels. New York to face the Mets. It's a long trip from Anaheim, but then down to play the Rays, and then over across the state to play the Marlins. You love it when interleague play works out that way for the Marlins. A trip to Los Angeles and then a hop skip up to Oakland. So when it works out, it's great. Here's the 2-2. Nolan Fontana, and then the pitcher, Matt Shoemaker, for Los Angeles. Up the middle into center field. That's a first hit off of Urania. It's Marte who arrives at first base.
Marte's been very productive for the Angels when given the opportunity to perform. It's a fastball out over the plate. Talked about the righties having the success. Now see what happens sometimes with Urania is when he's not able to get that two-seamer all the way to that inside corner. That right there stayed out over the plate.
Here now is Fontana, former Gator, has arrived at the big leagues. He's gone 1 for 11. But of course, you see there on the right that one hit is a home run, and it came here. It's wide at first. This will also be the Angels' 30th road game of the season. 30 road games already, and that's the most in Major League Baseball. They've got the Braves and the Twins at home when Mike Scioscia gets back to Southern California.
Mike Scioscia, 18th season as the Angels manager. Goodness.
And Fontana strikes out. Urania. 8 men have come to the plate, and he has struck out 5.
You see it right there. This is a great changeup. Loves to throw this pitch to the left-handed hitters. You see the depth and the bottoming out action almost to the same spot. Lefties and righties. For a lefty, though, that pitch is running away from your swing.
There's a bunt. Urania fires it. Whoa! High. Riddle. And to leave the bag to make the catch. Came back on a decoy. But Marte hadn't budged. And Urania a little too forceful on that throw, and the Marlins get nobody.
Well, felt an opportunity to turn two on the hard bunt from Shoemaker. He's right about everything, and certainly on line with the throw. Just too much effort behind it right there. You see it so soon as that throws on line, they're probably going to turn a double play right there with Riddle making a quick throw to first to get the pitcher Shoemaker. Unfortunately, the high throw allows everybody to be safe.
It's going to be a sacrifice. No, an E1. Ah, boy, I don't know about that. That one may be discussed a bit. So no sacrifice, just a plain E1. And here's Maben. The strokes went into right center field. That's a hit. Yelich on a clean hot runner holds. Yelich's throw all the way to the plate, and the bags are loaded now for Andrelton Simmons. So Maybin's hot streak continues. And of course, Simmons is red hot as well.
Now, this is the first pitch slider. We talked about some of the sequencing here. This is a pitch that he can handle right away. 84 miles an hour slider out over the plate. Remember that first time through the lineup, so determined to use his fastball to set up his breaking pitches. Chose to go to the slider first pitch right there, and Maybin quickly jumps all over it and lines it into center field.
Simmons popped it up, out of play. And it's 0-1. I love the touch on the Fox box there, lower right corner on this Memorial Day. Not merely base runners, not just little blips. Got the stars going on a red infield.
Notice that. Well done.
Soft liner, Riddle's got it. That's the best of both worlds for Urania. Kept it in the infield, and it was up in the air, so that keeps everybody attached to their base. That's the good news. The bad news is here comes Mike Trout, and there's no place to put him.
See it right there, able to get in on the hands of Simmons. Soft line drive. Easy catch right there by Riddle. Thought about throwing back to first, but 2 outs. He's banking on his guy Urania, able to put down the league's hottest hitter right now in Mike Trout.
Urania struck Trout out back in the first. Changeup, 89 miles an hour. That downward tilt and to a right-hander inward run. How's that for your career with bases loaded?
I don't even want to tell you about the conversation I had with my boys in the car with Mike Trout last night. We'll save that for later. The question was, started something like this: what doesn't he do? The answer was, well, there's nothing he can't do. And then the debate, started with, well, here, and here, and like there really is nothing. I mean, that's the thing that I think so many of us are amazed at Mike Trout in his incredible career so far, is the fact that he's really shown no weaknesses in his game. Talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the series, the adjustment he's made to even the elevated fastball. He's become a better high ball hitter as well.
Ground ball slowly hit. Riddle hustles and just gets him. Trout can run. And Riddle whipped it over there just in time. And Urania pitches out of a bases loaded jam. great sluggers. And so why not send Todd Hollinsworth into the demo den? What you got for us, partner?
All right, well, listen, let me tell you something. It is an absolute joy to get an opportunity to talk about what we just saw in the first inning from Giancarlo Stanton. He got a split finger fastball that he was able to get great extension on. I talk about that excuse me power. Well, Giancarlo's got as much excuse me power as there is in the game. Let's take a look at the swing itself. See the split finger fastball? See the tumbling action? Look at that extension. Okay, so here you go. I'm going to give you a view of me now. I know that's a lot more fun to watch than this guy, this old guy in here, but this is essentially what you see as a hitter. Did everything right. Now remember, his split finger fastball is not his fastball. It's about 86 miles an hour. It's not 92 to 94. So there is some deception in the lack of velocity. So what you saw from Giancarlo Stanton is exactly what you want to see. Great extension. You even saw the top hand come off. So as that ball starts out up here and tumbles down into the zone, he keeps his upper body back. But what does he get? He gets great extension to the ball on his hands, and as you see him finish to get even longer to the ball, you saw the top hand come off in a high finish as well. That's what good low ball hitters do. They're able to extend down into the zone and back out again.
Well, and out Christian Colon sends that one to left. Stanton's not a guy that usually loses that top hand, is he, Todd?
Right. He loves to keep both hands on the bat. What that promotes is a shorter, quicker swing. Giancarlo's a big guy. He can cover the plate. He's taller than me. I'm 6'2". He's bigger than me. He's got longer arms. So he's got great plate coverage already naturally, and your swing will stay shorter if you keep both hands on the bat. But in the situation going against the split finger fastball, like he hit out, he needed that extension. He had to get longer to the point of contact. That's why you saw that top hand come off. When you see it again, he wanted to. He'd love to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But because he was slightly fooled but kept his upper body back, he was able to continue the extension by releasing the top hand. See how much farther out in front you can actually get right there? If I keep both hands on the bat, that's as far as I can go. If I take my top hand off, my arm naturally extends. It's my lead arm farther out in front. That's what he needed to get to that baseball and then finish high and get it up in the air.
Urania fouls it off. Now, look, not only fans, but players and broadcasters like to see sluggers. So the Angels are having a great time watching Stanton. But the Marlins all wanted to watch Mike Trout, and I know the fans, a lot of them have been here to watch Trout. 0-2 pitch. You, as a former major leaguer and as a broadcaster now, what have you seen from Trout that you've liked? And what do you think of his swing?
And as a Jersey kid as well, certainly proud to see Mike Trout carry on the tradition of great Jersey baseball players. Just kidding, everybody. He hits the low ball as well as anybody in this game. Listen, Mike Trout has talked an awful lot about hitting that elevated fastball and being better about it. And you see his approach. He can handle that pitch now, but still, one of the best young hitters, and so many young hitters are so naturally gifted, and I think it's because of the added velocity in the game today. But the wanting or the desire, I would even say that many of these guys practice lifting. And the home run that we saw last night was a great example of that. It was a two-seam fastball to the inside part of the plate. Watch the elbow, watch the back elbow, everybody. See how it tucks into the body, but look how the barrel pulls through. That is a slightly natural uppercut swing into the baseball, and he gets great extension, and he clears the seats in left field. And so what that swing looks like, and it wasn't a natural swing to me. I didn't actually do it. I was actually more level through the zone and kind of did like this. But what he wants to do is when he gets in there and he gets his power going, he pulls with this bottom hand, and he's able to get underneath the ball just a little bit with a little bit more leverage in a very powerful swing and then finish up through it like this. And so many of these guys, we talk about this an awful lot. There aren't very many high fastball guys or pitchers who really command the top of the zone as well as maybe in years past. But what has been very, very debatable and has been talked about a lot over the last handful of seasons is the low zone. And you see a lot of pitchers, high velocity, trying to peg. Greg Maddux has said it a million times. The hardest thing to hit is a fastball low and away. So much is working down here. Well, this is what hitters have done. They've geared their swings to handle the lower zone. Think Manny Machado, think Chris Bryant, think Anthony Rizzo. All these guys, they, much like Mike Trout, will at times drop that back shoulder, and drive down into the zone with their legs and actually attempt to lift the baseball.
Well done in the demo den today. 2 sluggers, 2 different swings, all illustrated by our Todd Hollinsworth. Giancarlo Stanton on deck. JT Riddle with a count 0-2, working against Matt Shoemaker. And a fastball up. Now Shoemaker gave up the Stanton homer back in the first. Other than that, it's been pretty smooth sailing. Riddle bounced to second. And a 1-2 split. Got him. Struck him out. The Stanton homer is it. And it stands up right now for a 1-0 Miami lead.
By the authority of the Miami Marlins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and the descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins.
That is a strong holiday disclaimer, complete with dramatic music, compelling video, and Terry's great deep booming bass. Urania started, stopped, and then dropped.
I don't want to see him hurt himself for sure.
And he climbs back up there.
Right,
Luis Valbuena, Cole Calhoun, Martin Maldonado for the Angels. It just misses outside. Did you see the video of the minor league umpire that called a strike on a ball that came out of a pitch that was rolling towards the dugout and the batter playfully swung at it?
I did not.
And the umpire said that's a strike.
How did that turn out? No, I didn't see that.
It didn't turn out well for the hitter.
Yeah, I would imagine.
For the pitcher, though, he has swing and miss stuff. Here's the 2-1. That's a good pitch. 94 movement. It holds right on that outside corner.
He is hitting his marks today. Urania looks very, very good with that fastball command.
And he brings that one in. Slider. And he gets a strike. I worked long ago with the great Jim Cott. And I always liked listening to him discuss pitching. He had such an incredible career. And one of the points he always makes is, hey, velocity is great, and people focus on velocity, but it's location and movement. If you can get your fastball to move, if you can get a pitch to tail, and Urena has terrific movement on both his fastball and his changeup.
Right. Well, it's interesting, you know. Think about it in these terms. We talked about it a little bit when Chavez was starting a few nights ago for the Angels. He doesn't have nearly as much velocity. So hitters are prone to recognize and, well, swing a little bit more, especially above the knees, because, again, you get a longer look. What Urena does so well when he's on his game and he's throwing strikes to the corners is, as you see the umpire's arm constantly going up, it puts you in a defensive position like, okay, I need to be a little bit more prepared for this 95 to 99 miles an hour. It makes his secondary pitches so much more valuable because now in a hitter's mind, there's all sorts of variables. Everything in your mind is geared to being on time or trying to be on time for 99 miles an hour. Last thing I'm worried about is trying to hit a slider, for crying out loud. So if you can throw it for a strike, if you can throw it for a good wipeout pitch, you're going to get a lot of effective swings and misses. In fact, he just tied a career high with a 6th strikeout.
Urena now with a count 2-2. A Giancarlo Stanton home run. That's it between Miami and Los Angeles.
I always found it interesting, you know, certain pitchers could pitch high in the zone with their fastball, but you find a lot of times that it's not the guys who are throwing 95 to 100 miles an hour who find great success at the top of the strike zone. It's typically guys who throw between 90 and 92, 93 miles an hour, because hitters believe they can get on top of that ball. At 97, they believe there's no chance, so they don't swing. Pretty interesting stuff, what a hitter can and can't see because of velocity.
Pitch is in. So the slider slid a little too much, came all the way in. And a walk, the first one that he has allowed. Hey, a tote bag can be yours tomorrow night. Phillies and Marlins, 7:10 start. It's a Marlins Memorial Day tote bag. First 10,000 fans get them. And it's courtesy of our friends at MLB Network. I think Scott Braun and Dave Valley both contributed to that giveaway. So our thanks to them. Martin Maldonado staring daggers down at his third base coach, Ron Renneke. Very creative manager in his own right. Guy that learned at the foot of Mike Scioscia, just like Joe Madden. There he is. Came back to the Angels after a 5-year run as the skipper of the Brewers. That early staff, and I mean, Scioscia's been there now 18 years. Had Renneke, had Bud Black, had Joe Madden. Some pretty good managers, including Scioscia himself. Fastball, pop foul. There's a look at Mike Scioscia. Scioscia, 2-time manager of the year, the World Series title in 2002. 7 postseasons. Urena misses in to Maldonado. And a outstanding catcher for 15 years in Major League Baseball. A couple times an All-Star, a couple times a world champion. Aggressive manager. He doesn't necessarily have the type of team he's used to having. He's used to having the Sean Figgins of the world, Howie Kendrick of the world, the guys that can run, hit and run, go first to third?
They're in a, call it somewhat of a survival point in the organization's history where they're trying to get through some bad contracts and some money that they're looking to get off the books, if you will, before they can maybe jump back into free agency or bolster the lineup.
How do we get on the books, you and me? Right?
Right.
Everybody's trying to get stuff off the books.
Well, I guess we would have to be really, really good. Let's keep it up.
We need to get on the books.
Sure.
Not off the books.
Well, you had mentioned the history together with a lot of the guys, the staff. A lot of the staff, I can even predate the Angel. You talk about Joe Madden. I've known most of his staff from our Dodger days. Most of these guys have deep Dodger roots going all the way back before.
Runner
Mike
goes.
Scioscia was.
That ball's blasted. Left field, deep, and gone. That's a hit and run that turned into a 400-foot home run. And Martin Maldonado is having a breakout year offensively for the Angels.
It looked like a hanging slider on that hit and run. Calhoun the walk. Maldonado fought off some pitches. Let's see this again. Yeah, that's the spinner right there. You see it didn't do much, just out over the plate. 85 miles an hour. You saw it up there on the board. Right at the camera. Watch this. Hello.
So the Angels, with the long ball themselves, claim a 2-1 lead. Jeffrey Marte is the hitter. And the home run ball bit Urania in Oakland. Alonso and Healy homering there. It's Maldonado. Makes it 2-1.
411 feet on that home run from Maldonado. Exit velocity of 105. Doesn't in a lot of ways speak to some of those issues. Lefties coming into today's ball game, 154 batting average against Urania. Righties were hitting 316. Now 5 of the 6 home runs he's given up this year to right-handed batters.
And all 3 hits in this ball game to right-handed hitters. May have been Marte and now Maldonado. He can't get the M's out.
He's done a fantastic job at the top of the lineup. We talked about that at the beginning. How good they've been. Maven, Simmons, and Trout. It's been the middle of the lineup today.
Well, he walked Calhoun before Maldonado. He's 3-2 here on Marte. Of course, the Angels have a guy pitching in Matt Shoemaker, who's won his last 3 starts. That hit. Did that backswing?
I think the home
hit
plate
the umpire.
umpire. That's quite a backswing.
I don't know that I've ever seen that. Let's take a look and listen and see exactly what happened.
Well, it hit somebody for sure.
It did. Watch.
Oh, yes,
wow.
right in the back of the head. Holy
I have
cow.
never seen an umpire hit on a backswing.
Oh, no, that's, I don't know how you get that far back. Or maybe he's too close. I don't know.
It's Tom Woodring.
Yeah. Oof.
Oof. You can see Real Muto recoil.
That
pitch
could
is
have
down
been,
low.
That could have been a lot worse than the outcome. It almost looks like the barrel just clipped the front of his mask. Yeah, see, look at him looking at the front of his mask. It clips the backside of the mask, and it could have been the back of his head. Holy cow. You see the mask turn right there. Oof.
And that's how rare it is. Did you see the reaction of Real Muto as if, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
I mean, catchers get clipped every now and again, but never an umpire in that situation. Woodring is out to break up the visit. Juan Nieves asking him if he's okay. And he is, and you're right. He's also fortunate. But concern for Urania, a couple walks, a 411-foot home run. He's got Nolan Fontana with 1 out and a runner at first base. And a pitch count at 24 this inning, which has sent him to 67 on the day. So clear sailing early. Bags were loaded thanks to his own throwing error back in the 3rd inning. Now the Angels have broken through.
This has been one of the issues for Urania going back even to his last start. That command, early count command, hasn't shown itself necessarily in numbers of walks, but as he battles back into the counts, he's got to throw better strikes.
Fastball, and he misses, and it's 3-0.
Well, he continues to live on those edges. See what these situations do as a hitter. Your strike zone becomes smaller the better the count.
Strike there. Fontana looking for his 2nd major league hit. He is 1 for 12 to open his career. Takes outside, and Urania has walked 3 in the inning. And you would expect Miami's bullpen to start some sort of activity.
He's walked 3 of the last 4, all around a Maldonado home run. What's so interesting about this is it's not the Angels, in all honesty, putting together these really strong, great at bats. I think this is more about Urania and his command.
Shoemaker bunts. There's nobody at 3rd base. Oh my goodness. Shoemaker squared, pulled it back. Dietrich was charging. Riddle wasn't coming over in a wheel play. And the Angels, a heads-up play by Marte. He easily takes 3rd. That's a double steal. That cannot happen.
Well, I think what ends up happening, if we can roll it back one more time, watch this. JT Riddle does break for 3rd base, but when Shoemaker pulls his hands back, he's going to attempt to swing. Watch JD, he's going to freeze in his tracks when he sees him swing. And I think that threw him off.
And that's on Dietrich to recognize that, and as soon as he pulls the bat back, he's got to retreat or at least stop coming.
And Riddle was stopped in his tracks when he saw Shoemaker pull that bat back over at short. The Angels able to pick up the double steal and really set things up here. Of course, Shoemaker has to be able to put the ball in play.
0-2. Squares and pulls it back. And the pitch is up. Infield is in. And with Mike Sochi, you never know. Squares, pulls, swings, and misses. So Urania gets the out. But he still has to get a red-hot Cameron Maybin now.
They're high in strikeouts for Urania right there. Number 7 today's ball game.
He struck Maybin out in the 1st, but Maybin singled in the 3rd.
That shows you how dominant he really has been. I know you see the score right there and the trouble he's in at 76 pitches, 7 punch-outs, 3 2/3.
So there's your career high. The problem in this inning, 3 walks and a home run. And 2-0 to Maybin. Simmons is not a bargain on deck. He's been hot. This is the part of the order that has really hurt Miami in the first 2 games. It's the bottom of the order that is troubling Urena today.
Fastball right there to the inside corner.
Two-one. And it's in, and the pitches just keep piling up here in the 4th. Look at that, 37 pitches, 37. And at some point,
a lot of deep counts.
Yeah, 3-1. Brian Ellington is up in Miami's bullpen.
Yeah, 5 3-ball counts this inning. 6 hitters, only 40 pitches. But other than Calhoun, I guess Fontana as well. These righties really just unable to command the inside corner. We talked about that fastball.
3-2. Fastballs in, bags are loaded, and Ellington is a ways away from being ready. And here is Urena, 40 pitches into this inning. Bags are loaded. Simmons and then Trout. Marlins have already visited. Here is pitch number 40. And it's a strike.
Zips a slider in there for a first pitch. Abrams and Simmons look back at home plate umpire. Pitch was a little up.
Urena trying to hold it together. And that breaking ball, Simmons a meek swing. It's 0-2.
Well, his first at bat struck out on that same type of swing on a slider. Remember, it was just last inning he came up with the bases loaded. Was overmatched with the fastball. Little jam shot line drive to JT Riddle at short. See if Urena can induce the same type of result.
Simmons a liner to left. In comes Ozuna. He makes the catch. Boy, he hit it right on the button. And Urena is fortunate that only 2 runs scored in the inning. 4 walks and a 2-run homer and a 2-1 Angels lead. Florida, brought to you by Jeep. Get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance Event. by your South Florida Chevy dealers, and by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Through the looking glass, home runs have provided all the runs in this ballgame. 2-1 game. The man at the plate has Miami's only run, and that is Giancarlo Stanton. And I don't know if that was an errant split or a change. I don't know what that was.
I think that was the knuckle curveball. That's my guess. I think he doesn't throw many of them anymore. He used to throw a few more back in the day, but occasionally he'll bust out a first pitch curveball. I think that's actually what it was.
It ended up right around the left shoulder of Stanton.
Only 82.
Now that one had a little more break to it, and it's in the dirt. The count is 2-0. Stanton took a. There it is. Now you could probably draw a line from one to the other.
Well, if Shoemaker finds the middle on this pitch, I'm going to enjoy watching Giancarlo Stanton hit. Be about the middle of the plate, wouldn't it?
Which end of the spectrum is this one? Yes,
pretty close.
Inside part. Stanton fouls it back. Stanton's homer was to left center field. You know, it's odd to see Stanton hit a homer that just kind of clears the fence. That rarely happens. Stanton, almost all of his home runs are no doubters. That one 401 feet. Liner right center field. That's well hit. Into the gap it goes. Stanton around first, thinking two. Great job by the Gold Glover Calhoun to cut it off and return it into second. And Stanton that time locked in on the outside part and driving it to right field.
Yeah, gets a fastball away. Pretty simple right here. It's all about what he's looking to accomplish. Good game planning right there. Look at those eyes. Again, didn't see this head pull off. He stays on it, drives it the other way. Good start to this fourth inning.
Marlins don't see the Angels at all, but enough of a scouting report to know that Calhoun has very good range and a very good arm. His Gold Glove came in 2015. Here's Yelich now, who flied to left, his only at bat. This is bottom four, and Miami's only 2 hits belong to Stanton. Yelich takes a strike.
Halfway holding him on over at first base.
You don't sleep on Maldonado, though. He'll throw behind you. Angels catcher. That's one of the favorite times to throw on a ball like that. Even with a left-handed hitter, you can, as a catcher, Molina, all the Molinas were able to do that, but obviously Yachty the best. Throw actually behind the hitter.
Backhand momentum takes you to the backhand on the receiving the baseball with the glove. Then you get the fire down to first base.
Here's a 1-1. One and two to Yelich. Ozuna and then Bohr to follow. Stanton a leadoff single here in the fourth. Yelich, a sharp ground ball picked there by Fontana. Out there. No chance for Yelich at first base. Nolan Fontana has made some really nice plays going to his left in this series.
Yeah, he really has. Nice job. Struggled with the exchange. Probably cost them the double play. Regardless, still able to keep the ball in the infield and get the out at second base. Watch this. Glove hand side spin. Little double clutch right there. Again, that's what cost him the double play. Able to get it over to Andrelton Simmons enough time to get Giancarlo Stanton at second base. That didn't have the handle once he got it. Still made it close.
So Yelich replaces Stanton. Ozuna's second at bat. Shoemaker, and you did a nice job of documenting the scare last year, the line drive that he took off the head against Seattle and the surgery. He was such a long shot to get to the big leagues. Undrafted. He was an infielder when he went to Eastern Michigan. He actually signed for $10,000, and the reason he got $10,000 was he was undrafted after a junior season, a redshirt junior season in college. Angels gave him $10,000. He signed, and when he got to the big leagues, he darn near won the Rookie of the Year award. He was the runner-up to Jose Abreu in 2014.
Shoemaker certainly knows what he's doing, and he's a big part of what the Angels hope to accomplish both now and in the future. I think very highly of him.
It's funny when you read scouting reports outside of raw numbers, one of the words that jumps off the page about him is pitch sequencing. That word sequencing, you don't always see it, don't often see it in a scouting report.
So much of what he does is based off his three variables, his three fastballs that he throws, including that splitty, which is at the bottom of the zone. Elevates spin rate, think top of the zone. Also will throw a two-seam fastball. His one pitch that he throws with some horizontal movement is the slider, but he uses it just a little bit, about 20% of the time.
Angel's going to look at this on replay. That throw was at Yelich's hip. The Angels will not challenge. This is a change in strategy in baseball over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's all because of replay. Rather than throw to the bag to get the hand, teams are starting to throw more to the body. That's a strike, 91.
Yeah, everybody's okay with that except the base runner.
Right, and the reason they do it is in years past before replay, you probably aren't going to get that call.
Right.
Because the umpire is focused on the hand. Now with replay, you can get there sooner if you do throw to the body.
It's all about putting the leather in between the ball and the hip. Almost worked a couple pitches ago.
Not a big lead for Yelich. And a 1-2 to Ozuna. Sends it to right, Calhoun. And there are 2 outs. Unfortunately, the holiday weekend has to come to a close. But that's not until tomorrow night. So there's a lot of holiday left. And we'll be there tomorrow night when the South Florida Honda dealers presenting Craig Minervini and Jeff Nelson. Jeremy Hellickson has frustrated the Marlins in his career. Edinson Volquez on a Memorial Day at the ballpark. Now here's Bohr. Bohr fly to right. Shoemaker doing a nice job against Bohr. When it's soft, it's away enough. And when it's a little harder, it's in on the hands.
Well, that's the trick of the trade, is to get the hitter to expand his strike zone just enough and be fooled just enough by that. Because if it's too far, you don't swing at it. Very good about it today.
Let's see where Maldonado sets up. He's way out.
There's the splitty.
Few more days left in May, which is good news for Justin Bohr. He's had a terrific month. 9 home runs this month. Again, soft and away enough.
That is a great visual of what Justin Bour has been making. I've talked an awful lot about in-game, in-at-bat adjustments that he's been making, things he's looking for. Remember, he swung at that pitch, the first pitch of the at-bat, laid off it right there. Now he's in a hitter's count. See if he can make him pay.
He chased, split finger. It's 2-2 in the month of May. In Marlins history, Dan Uggla and Giancarlo Stanton with a dozen. That's the record. Cliff Floyd on that list. Preston Wilson on that list. 2-2 to Bour. Yelich at first. Shoemaker, a guy that will test your patience. So is Jeremy Hellickson tomorrow night for the Phillies.
Shoemaker, he can really slow the pace down, which he's done a couple times in today's ball game, but has used it to his advantage. It hasn't made his stuff any less effective.
Bour cracks one to left field. It sinks and drops in front of Maben. Yelich doesn't stop. And Miami has him at the corners. Really nice at bat by Justin Bour.
Sure was. My goodness. Handcuffs a left fielder. You don't see this too often. That's how hard this baseball was hit. See the fastball. Great extension right there. Stays on it as it's on the outside corner, about thigh high. You continue. Watch Cameron Maben. Now we didn't show you everything that went down here. He actually ran over to his right just a little bit to get in front of this, but was overmatched by the velocity. Look, classic misread by a left fielder. Just hit too hard. Outfielders, you're in the outfield, you're a long way away from a lot of the action. You watch it right here. He just absolutely got handcuffed because he hit the ball so hard. Did everything in his power to keep it in front, but wasn't able to make the catch.
Chance to draw even now with 2 outs. Real Muto struck out back in the second. Bour's at first. Yelich at third. And JT pops it up. Back behind second base. Fontana calls and catches. And Miami's fourth ends with 2 left on base. Geico presents. This date in Major League history, Barry Bonds moved past Babe Ruth into is second on the all-time home run list with his 715th homer. That was 2006. In Miami this afternoon, the Angels and the Marlins finishing off a 3-game series. And Jose Urena had just 43 pitches through 3 innings. He threw 42 pitches in the 4th. Here's Trout, Valbuena, and Calhoun behind him. 42 pitches in an inning. Angels got 2 runs. Urena walked 4 in the inning. Gave up the 2-run homer to Martin Maldonado.
Well, despite that unfortunate set of circumstances, back out for the 5th. Good to see at 87 pitches. Marlins have been well into their bullpen all series long.
And right now, Urena doesn't look sharp. Ellington had warmed up in the 4th, and you would think it won't take very long for him to hop back out there. Now, if you look down into Miami's bullpen and who's available and who might not be available, that's a strike. Trout shaking his head, not happy. Next pitch in, and Trout walks. Tom Mattingly asking either Real Muto or Tom Woodring, but that pitch was in, and the pitch that was a called strike was just in as well. And that look on Mattingly's face of best word is probably exasperation. Not necessarily at the home plate umpire, but right now at his starter, at his ball club. One and 0 to Valbuena.
Career high in strikeouts today for Urena. Career high in walks as well, 5 of them.
He's getting closer to that that Volquez start. Remember all the walks and the strikeouts?
Well, he's been able to get a couple of key outs. I mean, usually when you're giving numbers like that, things don't work out.
Yelich in pursuit, has it. Valbuena is out, number 1. Here comes Cole Calhoun. Phillies and Reds are back at it again, and it's the same score as it was late last night. 4-4 Reds and Phillies. That's in the bottom of the 3rd inning in Philadelphia. Of course, the Phillies are coming in this direction. Phillies won the ball game last night 4-3. Tommy Joseph had his 2nd walk-off hit in 3 days last night.
Phillies and the Marlins trying to bounce back from extended losing streaks. Slumps, if you will, team slumps.
Runner goes, Trout on the move. Real Muto's throw bounces off the glove of Riddle, and a stolen base for Mike Trout. Left wrist. Trout reached down and grabbed it. And the hopes of the Angels and their fans right now are in their collective throats. See how quickly Mike Scioscia got out there. Thumb?
Yeah, he's grabbing his thumb right there. He may have jammed his hand. The head first slide. Oh yeah. That's it. Watch the bag. Watch his left thumb as he slides around. It's going to get a little hooked right there. Look at that. He definitely did something. Look at the look on his face. I don't know if he necessarily hooks it, but definitely does something, maybe jams it. Yeah, maybe that's it. Hits it like this on the bag, where you take your thumb and almost hit it on top of it, kind of jams it in there. Really was in a great deal of pain after doing it.
He's going to stay in the ball game. All he has to do now is run. When he gets to the dugout and tries to pick up a bat or put a glove on, that'll be the test. It's his 10th stolen base. Calhoun's still at the plate, and the 1-0 pitch is in.
As Mike Trout walks more, intentionally walked more as well, certainly this season. He's taking it upon himself to be back in the stolen base column. A couple seasons ago, slowed down just a little bit. Really wants to keep that a big part of his game.
He's gone 3-0 on Calhoun. You can see Trout is flexing it, testing it. And a walk, another walk. And we'll see what Miami does here. Trip from Real Muto. Next Saturday, it's Marlins and Diamondbacks, and it's another 4:10 start. For 7,500 fans, get a commemorative Giancarlo Stanton home run derby bobblehead from the 2016 All-Star Game. And that bobblehead is courtesy of the fine folks, the upstanding folks at Fox Sports Florida. Go to Marlins.com. Juan Nieves, a long talk. Brad Ziegler is up. We were talking about Miami's bullpen, who might be available, who might not be available. David Phelps is probably off limits. Phelps an inning and 2/3 on Friday and an inning yesterday. Kyle Bearclaw has pitched in both ball games. Nick Wickren is available. Ziegler available. Right now, Urania, 98 total pitches.
Yeah, it's so amazing. First 3 innings did not have a 3-ball count. 7 in the last 2. It's that fastball command that's really unhinged his start.
In the last inning and a third, he's thrown 56 pitches.
Yeah.
Runners first and second.
He's just lost feel for the fastball command to the corners. He's been able to throw it down the middle a few times and pick up some big outs, but when he's tried to make the pitcher's pitch to a corner, has not been able to do it. Now at 99 pitches.
6 walks and 7 strikeouts. And that's a strike. That's tomorrow night. Marlins live at 6:30. 3-game series. Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon finish to that one. One popped in the air and out of play. And it's something that you have touched upon over the last month, and that is your football stat, time of possession, and the amount of time it takes during an opponent's at bat, and what it does to the hitters who are out in the field.
Playing defense, you watch them stand around. It's very interesting. The body language tells you an awful lot when you watch a struggling starter, a struggling pitcher. Again, essentially 50 pitches over the last inning and a half. You start to stand around a lot. You're not on your toes. You know, you kind of are busy doing a lot more getting ready and not fielding the ball, running to a base, doing the things that keep you engaged. This isn't about blame. It's just a matter of circumstance.
Bouncer to third. Dietrich fires second. Turn by Colon. Great pick by Bohr. I mean, a terrific play by Justin Bohr. Number one, he was able to get the double play. Number two, if he doesn't pick it clean, that's a run, with the runner coming home from third. A much needed 5-4, and the emphasis on 3 double play. To go, Mike Trout in the dugout. He was just going to stay out there. Hey, bring me my glove. Mike Scioscia came out on the field and directed him into the dugout. Scioscia wanted the trainer to look at the thumb, and they watched Scioscia here. Hey, guys.
All eyes want to know.
Right. That's how important that guy is. And after a long chat, you could see Trout trying to keep himself in the ball game, and he succeeded in doing it. He grabbed his glove and off he went to center field. So that's great news for Angel fans and the Angels organization that Trout is back out there. Let's hope that thumb is okay. Here's Derek Dietrich. Breaking ball. Dietrich pulls it foul. And the count is 0-1.
Well, even if it's not, he to me is the type. I mean, he's every manager's dream right there. I mean, he's not coming off the field. I mean, you're going to literally have to rip the uniform off him. But here's the thing. I would think defensively, if he jammed that thumb, he still is in position to play defense. I think the real test is going to be when he picks up a bat again.
Derek Dietrich, right center field. That's in the gap. That's going to the wall. Dietrich thinking 3, headed for second, stops there. Again, Cole Calhoun is a really good outfielder. He got into that gap and got to the ball and got it in quickly.
Now, good to see Dietz get into one. Fastball right here, picked on it. You asked a question a little while ago, what Derek Dietrich had been struggling kind of with, or what he was struggling through. And to me, it's in a lot of ways how he's been pitched more than anything. And I think there's been just a lot of different schemes. Picks on a fastball right there and launches it into the right center field gap. Good to see right there for Dietz.
Here's Colon. Ichiro is on deck. Colon fly to left. He shortens. And the Angels try to pick off Dietrich, and it was close.
for Cologne. He's going to have to read the corner infielders here to see how he wants to direct this bunt attempt. In fact, that's what he does. Sometimes kind of bunting against traditional way is the way to go.
There's the bunt. Shoemaker to first in time. And some would say, well, why is he bunting? Why would Don Mattingly have him bunt? Sometimes for a hitter, the instructions are just get him over however you feel comfortable. And a lot of hitters will choose to bunt rather than try to push it over with the ground ball.
Well, there was no crashing from either side. I thought they had given us maybe some indicators that maybe they would run something. But again, nobody crashes. Third baseman, first baseman both stayed at home. Put the pressure on Shoemaker to field the bunt. It's a good one. Watch. Everybody stays where they are. Gets the bunt down and able to make the play over to first base, which allows Dietz to get over to third.
Now, the other part of this equation is who's coming up after the guy who bunts. And it's Ichiro, who has struggled mightily here in 2017. And the Angels are going to bring the infield in. So Ichiro trying to drive in this run, get a ball through the infield. Against Shoemaker here in the 5th. And a strike. Marlins Live yesterday, Craig Minervini, Jeff Nelson talking about Marlins pinch hitters and the fact that the Fish haven't had a lot of contributions off their bench. And this is a big spot here. And a great opportunity for Ichiro. Pitch is out.
Well, the willingness of the Angels to pull the infield in should tell Ichiro to keep those eyes set in the low zone. Remember what Shoemaker likes to do. There are times where he'll elevate, but doubtful that he'll elevate here because they're looking for a ground ball. Think splitty, think two-seam fastball down in the zone.
There you go. That checked both boxes.
Now, that's what he's seen so far. Remember, that first pitch strike was just a two-seam fastball to the low corner. He's featured 2 pitches, both splitties back down in the dirt. He wants to see if Ichiro will go fishing.
Would you squeeze with Ichiro?
Something to be considered. I would assume, although I haven't seen Ichiro bunt too much, that he can handle the bat. Squeezing's not a difficult thing to do. It's about protecting the hitter. As long as you believe he'll get the bat on the ball, you can do it.
2-1 pitch. He had a good pitch there. He fouls it back. Now it's 2-2.
Now the highest of the 4 he's seen this at bat. Fortunately, fouls it off.
There's your Fox tracks and the pattern. If it's up, it's out. A 1-run game, bottom 5, Dietrich at third, and 1 out. Infield in. 2-2 to Ichiro. Ichiro right field, the liner, and it falls for a hit. And this ball game is tied. You could see Shoemaker muttering to himself. And I think you're right. I think he got it up higher than he really wanted. Terrific stuff from Dietrich, from Cologne, and from Ichiro.
Yeah, this works well together. This is another splitty, but it works its way from above the knees to the knees. This is what you want. These are the ones you get to. Look how he pulls the hands down. I don't want to say he drags the barrel, but again, a little bit of an uppercut. It's the right approach against the splitty that allows him to elevate the baseball. Nicely done. Good big pitch hit for Ichiro right there.
So Ichiro's at first, and here's JT Riddle in a 2-2 game. Riddle, right field, that's deep, that is gone! 2-run shot for the kid, and Miami is up just like that.
JT Riddle in the span of 2 pitches. A huge pitch hit from Ichiro and a great swing on a first pitch fastball. Pulls those hands through. Big 2-run home run for the young man. And a Marlins lead.
Look at the bullpen. And Riddle, his third.
Couldn't come at a better time. He really couldn't.
You talk about making the best out of an opportunity. Riddle is doing exactly that.
.398 sweet feet, 104 miles an hour off the barrel. How about it?
Here is Stanton. A little stirring in the Angels bullpen now. Shoemaker, though, at 70 pitches. And Stanton takes outside. It is 1-0. What is it with the long ball? Stanton homer, a Riddle homer for 3 of Miami's 4 runs. Martin Maldonado, a 2-run homer. And that's it for the Angels. Shoemaker misses away. Apparently that thing hasn't stopped moving. The home run sculpture is still vibrating.
It's still moving.
That's a strike. Three-one pitch. Stanton a rip. That's 3-2.
Stanton the best at bats today against Shoemaker for his 3rd hit of the ball game.
See what he gets. 3-2. Little chopper. Shoemaker throws him out. So the 2nd out here in the 5th. And that'll bring up Christian Yelich. Well, for all the pain that Jose Urena went through with all the walks,
he's in line for a win.
To give up just the 2 runs. Remember, he got Simmons on that hard line drive, and then Dietrich started the 5-4-3 double play. You think about the pick by Bohr. How big is that now?
Did things to keep his team in the ball game. Yes, he made trouble for himself. Yes. Was he efficient? In no way he was not efficient, certainly over the last few innings. But did the right things, made pitches when he had to. Think back to even the 3rd inning. Got himself in trouble, got Trout out. Yeah, they still want to keep going. They're just, they might as well, they left them on.
Flamingo's apparently pretty excited.
I think Yelly's going to go deep.
Yelly into right field. That's a base hit. And so Yelich with a single here. Angels pen is in motion. Two-seam fastball down in the zone. Christian Yelich handles that one very well. Like
Scioscia is making his way to the mound after that base hit. There he is.
Well, Mike Scioscia will take the ball from Matt Shoemaker, who is in control in a 2-1 game. Big hit by Ichiro and a 2-run homer by JT Riddle. You by T-Mobile. Last night, Chase Utley. How about Chase Utley? Still in the everyday lineup and still producing. And another shutout last night for the Doyers. How about 15 strikeouts for Steven Strasburg as the Nationals beat his hometown team, the Padres. And Yachty is hot, 16 games now. Rockies losing at Coors Field. In the jumbled National League Central, the Cardinals, Cubs, the Reds, they're all in there. Milwaukee with a half-game lead in that division. Here in Miami, glad you're with us. For you folks on AFN, first of all, thank you for all that you do for us. And I hope you're enjoying a little Memorial Day baseball here. Mike Morin for the Angels. Ozuna pulls it foul. I just imagine the folks watching on AFN tuning in and seeing the camo caps and the camo socks and all that, saying, yeah, we wear that stuff all the time. It's pretty sweet. But great recognition. And again, if you would like to contribute, Marlins.com or MLB.com, go to the shop area. You can buy the caps or the socks, and all the proceeds go to help the troops.
Good slider right there from Morin. He was just reinstated from the disabled list prior to yesterday's ball game. He missed 35 games with some neck tightness. That's why you see the small sample size in his seasonal numbers.
End of the bat. This could be a close play. Valbuena runs right by it. And Ozuna is aboard. The guess would be a hit. Yelich is now at second, and it is an infield single. And that's going to get Bourne at bat here with a couple runners on.
A tough play for Valbuena. Decides the only way to get it across the diamond would be with the bare hand play. You got to come up with it clean. Obviously, he does not right there. The infield hit for Ozuna. Well, he gets himself over into scoring position and gets one of the hottest fish to the plate in Justin Bour.
Bour takes a strike. Bour singled the left back in the fourth. All of a sudden, Miami has 8 hits in this game. They had just 1 hit the first 3 innings.
2 strikes on Justin Bour. Shorten up here. Find something he can handle.
Outfield very deep. Playing Bour to pull. Bour bending at the knees and at the waist, following that pitch down on its path.
So interesting watching how the outfielders have changed their game planning against Bour from start to finish, basically from the beginning of the season to where we are today.
Reaches down, rolls that out towards Fontana on the outfield grass. He'll throw Bour out. And the inning is over, but for the Marlins, a breakthrough here. Bottom 5 after the big Ichiro hit. JT Riddle blasts one into the bullpen. And it's 4-2 Miami.
Mark 4-2 Fish here in the 6th inning. Hall of Fame broadcaster and our great pal Philo Ramirez continues to recover in a Philadelphia area hospital. Took a tough fall on a Marlins road trip, and today the Marlins are honoring their Hall of Fame broadcaster with a bobblehead. And take a look at this great get well card. This is going to be sent up to where he is staying in Philadelphia. Fans have been signing it all day long. Players have signed it, coaches, executives, and we are too. Philo, one of the great guys you'll ever meet. We're going to say get well soon, and we do love you. Oh, he's one of the great guys you'll ever meet in this game, and in fact, guys, in life. Gentleman, fun guy with a playful personality too. Get well soon, Philo, guys.
Thank you, Craig. Yeah, let's hope that we see Philo back here in Miami soon and back at the ballpark soon. Jeffrey Marte, and it's Brad Ziegler who takes over here. 4-2. The Marlins have wrestled the lead back from the Angels, and it's a bullpen game the rest of the way.
Well, it has been all series long. It's really been the theme. We'll get into it. Friday, Straley 5 1/3 innings. The bullpen went 3 2/3. Yesterday, Worley went 5 innings. Bullpen responsible for 4 more innings, and obviously today, Urania 5 innings. We'll see how many innings this bullpen has to log today.
Pitch is down low. You've got Fontana, and then the Angels pitcher spot. Ziegler catches the plate and the knees. And that one catches Marte.
It's about as unusual a hit by pitch as you're going to see. Marte does everything in his power to get off the ground with both legs and still gets hit by the pitch. Watch this, leaves the ground with both feet, jumps straight up in the air. Still catches him on the front leg.
Right on the shin protector, but I don't think it hit the front of it.
So you're telling me that was on purpose right there? He was trying to get in the way with his shin guard?
In a split second, he realized which part of his body was covered. No,
right.
That was just pure instinct. Get up and get out. And Ziegler almost clips Fontana. And it's 1-0. In the model that the Marlins set out from opening day, they knew that their rotation was weakened by the loss of Jose Fernandez. And they knew that they would have trouble finding some arm like that. And so the plan was to build as much depth as you could possibly build in the bullpen for games just like this, games where it went 5 innings. But even that has gone sideways at times with some tough times. Ziegler, Tazawa. Here's a 1-1. Bouncer up the middle. Cologne. Riddle. Got it. Double play. Nicely done.
That's how you draw it up right there. Heard me many times talking about Ziggs getting the ground balls. They just keep finding those holes. Not this time. Cologne, nice job to the backhand. Little slide right there. Able to shuffle it over to JT Riddle, who finishes this double play. Well done.
Bang, bang at first.
Brad Ziegler, second best in the National League, getting the ball on the ground.
This is a Cliff Pennington at bat now. And Ziegler misses away. Action in Miami's bullpen. And Brian Ellington looks like he's back up. Pennington appeared in game 1 of the series. Versatile infielder. Ziegler misses inside with a breaking ball. Out to center. Yelich is there, and Brad Ziegler, uneventful 6th inning. Remember the thumb and the slide at second base, the head first slide. He stayed in defensively. He's due up this inning, and he is leaving the game. Todd, you had mentioned that the true test was going to be once he had to pick up a bat and see if he could swing it. As a result, Cameron Maybin goes from left to center.
Well, especially since it's his left thumb. Remember, right-handed hitter. That's the thumb that's going to get compressed by the top hand. Now, if it was his other thumb, there's still a chance that, you know, maybe he would be able to hit in this ball game, but clearly not going to be able to do that as his turn comes up this inning and he exits the ball game, or I should say next inning.
And so Garrett comes in, and the Angels lose Trout. Revere is in the 3 spot, so he's right in Trout's spot in the lineup. Miami back to work. JT Realmuto. Realmuto, Derek Dietrich, and Cologne. Garrett leaves one up. Realmuto punishes it into center field. Maybin cuts it off. JT's not stopping. On his way and in there. Not many catchers can do that. That's double number 6 on the season.
Now that's thinking double out of the box by JT Realmuto. You don't get to second base without thinking this way. Hanging slider right there, rips it into center field. Tracking it the entire time. Great around first base, never stopped, and finds himself on second base with a leadoff double.
Now the Marlins are back in that spot, trying to get a guy over and get a guy in. Dietrich was the guy who doubled to start the 5th. And he drives that ball to right center field. That's well hit. Maybin after it is there and makes the catch, and that does the job. Realmuto hustles on over to third. And now Christian Cologne has a chance to stretch the lead to 5-2.
Really nice at bat by Dietrich right there. Got a pitch he could handle up in the zone and drove it to right field. That's the definition of getting him over. Didn't have to do it with a bunt. Wanted to take a chance that he could pull the ball to the right side. See all the high fives around in the Marlins dugout. Job well done.
Infield starting to creep in up the middle, though. Simmons and Fontana right now are halfway. Simmons doesn't need to come all the way in with that strong arm he's got. Realmuto's the runner at third. Cologne takes down low.
In on the corners.
Two and 0. Tyler Moore is in the on-deck circle. That means the Marlins need an arm up and ready. We talked about David Phelps and his workload. He is back up. There's Moore. And a strike.
Fastball away has stayed down and away. First 3 pitches of this at bat.
Deolis, Guerra. Guerra misses.
A good at bat by Colon, as there's been some close borderline pitches in this at bat. It's a good hitting count right here. As you see, he stayed away, down for the most part, and away this entire at bat. Pitch is right on the edge.
Count 3-2. Runner third, infield in, and one out. Bottom six. Trying to grind out a run here.
Guerra said a lot right there with a 3-1 slider. We'll put that in the memory bank. Throws at 3-1.
It's down, no swing. Colon walks, and here comes Moore.
Nice at bat by Colon, able to lay off, down in the zone and check that swing. Guerra made nothing but pitchers pitches and balls off the outside corner. Sets it up for Tyler Moore.
Well, of course, this is the spot that had Ichiro in there, the 9 spot. Ichiro, a pinch hit RBI single that drew Miami even in the 5th. And so Moore gets a shot here. Middle infield is back for 2. Corner at first even. Backing up at third is Valbuena. Moore drives it left field. Realmuto tags. Revere does not have a big arm, and his throw goes into second, and Miami executes nicely. Moore a sacrifice fly. Realmuto across, and the bench has really come through. The Ichiro pinch hit single, the Moore sacrifice fly.
A lot of strategy, and that's the great thing over the last couple of innings, able to manufacture a couple runs. Those are the insurance runs. That's what helps you breathe a little easier. Sure, we love the home runs. Who doesn't? Everybody does in baseball. You love to see them.
There they are.
But you gotta manufacture some runs right there, and great job by everybody involved.
I love to see that because Ichiro and the bench players, they all hit in the same group. A.J. Ellis, Moore, oftentimes Colon. And there is a spirited competition in that last group, led by Ichiro, who is, I mean, if you want entertainment, be down there for the last group and be within earshot of the give and take.
The banter back and forth.
Yes.
Quality.
And Ichiro is leading the charge.
Yes. Well, big stuff today from the bench.
In fact, a lot of the Marlin coaches will gather behind the cage in that last group just to hear those guys go at it. Change up for a strike. JT Riddle, a 2-run homer to right. 3 homers now. And to think this is a guy that went 2 for his first 21 in the big leagues. Since then, his average over 300.
Although the production's been much, much better since coming back up to the big leagues. He doesn't smile as much, and I don't know if that's because he's acting like he's been here before. Well, he has, but
I think he's a little more serious now because he realizes what every major leaguer has told me, and I'm sure you're going to echo this. It's easier to get here than it is to stay here.
Correct. It's just the focus in his eyes. I remember, just seeing him the first time when he first got called up, and you remember the game-winning home run that he hit. It's just beaming. I mean, you could feel it, and it's fun to see in a young man, and everybody has it when they get those first hits, the first home runs.
Liner down the left field line, and fair, and into the corner. Racing around third, here comes Colon, and he will score. JT Riddle, everybody.
Well, he likes the leadoff spot. Why not?
And of course, yesterday we had that story about Frank Menechino and what he told Riddle when he came back up from the minor leagues.
Beautiful, using the other field. Look at those hands. Took everything out of his swing. That was not about hip rotation. That's not about a front foot being down. That's about using your hands. I'm almost to say guiding the ball to left field right there. Rich, you play tennis. It's almost that backhand right there where you just kind of keep your hand right through it and you kind of direct where the ball goes.
Cologne scoring. And Miami's lead now at 6-2. And it fits perfectly into the instructions of Frank Menechino. When Riddle went down, Menechino told him, look, you need to learn to drive the ball middle to opposite field. And you talked about the home run he hit down in the minor leagues. And that's when it really started to sink in. And then he homered to left at Dodger Stadium. He's finding hits to left, driving the ball to right. Here's a 1-0. Stanton fouls it at the plate.
Well, he's not only proving he belongs, he's proving he belongs in the everyday lineup.
And that's the next step, isn't it? If Adeiny Echeverria were to get healthy tomorrow, I don't know that he pushes Riddle out of that spot.
Well, as hot as he is right now, that would be hard to do.
Unless Etch hits 350. Here's a 1-1. But that, you know what, though, that depth is great to have.
Yes, it is.
It's not
these aren't bad things we're talking about here.
It's not a bad problem to
right.
have.
Well, any manager will tell you, I'd love to have that kind of internal competition.
Because Riddle could probably slide over and play third.
This is about good results and good things happening.
2-1. Stanton got a rare fastball right down the pipe. And it counts 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think for Miami, if you can hit right now, if you're anybody in a Marlins uniform and you get hot, and Riddle is, Don Mattingly will find a place for you.
I just want him to smile again. he's just got that look on his face, and the success keeps coming. Keep hitting, man. It's been fun to watch. Locked in, he's focused.
Stanton with 2 more hits here, enjoying the number 2 spot in the order. Fastball up and in. Exactly where Maldonado wanted it. Guerra. Former Met farmhand, former Twin. 3-2 coming to Stanton. Breaking ball, Stanton swings and misses. And the inning is over, but Miami strikes again. Tyler Moore and JT Riddle make it 6-2. Bark at the Park is next Saturday the 3rd. It's one of 2 events. It's always popular. In fact, the Marlins seem to get some of the largest canine crowds in baseball. And they're going to go for a record that night. So if you want to be part of that record with your dog, bring them on. Portion of the proceeds from each ticket will benefit the Humane Society of Greater Miami. It really is a fun night. We love the uniforms. The dogs love the pizza. We love the ice cream batting helmets on some of the smaller dogs. So Marlins.com/special events next Saturday, June 3rd. That's also Giancarlo Stanton bobblehead night. So that's a really, really good night to come out and see the Marlins and the Diamondbacks. Now, David Phelps, if you look at the innings total over the last 2 ball games, it doesn't reflect his actual workload. You look at the pitches, 18 pitches on Friday, just 8 pitches last night. Here is Phelps, who's been outstanding of late. His ERA down in the low 3s. He gets Cameron Maybin to open up the 7th.
Well, I've enjoyed saying this every time he takes the mound. It's now 14 straight games in which he has not allowed an earned run. He's on fire right now.
Breaking ball misses away. Remember, no Mike Trout right now. Maybin, Simmons, and Revere. If you're just happening by this ball game, Mike Trout on a head-first slide at second base hurt his thumb. He stayed in defensively for an inning and then left, I'm sure, to have that thumb examined. It was his left thumb. The head-first slide is the bane of general managers throughout baseball and managers. It's hard to coach that out of a generation of players that instinctively go to that slide, right? Maybin takes a strike 3. And believe me, teams counsel against it.
Watch, see how much momentum he has over his knees. That's why guys do it. It's really as simple as that. You get moving so fast and you get up over your hips, the top half, your body. Think about getting your legs back underneath you to slide with your legs. You kind of have to learn how to do it. Frankly, I never got enough speed going that direction, so me putting my legs on the ground was easy to do, although I had issues jamming thumbs and whatnot, but it was usually dragging my thumbs. You see it right there, those head-first slides. Hear it all the time. How about first base? That's always a hot topic of conversation just about every year.
Simmons fouls it off. Phelps looks sharp. Counts 0-2 with Revere on deck. Remember, D. Gordon suffered a wrist injury, I want to say 2 years ago, sliding into first, trying to avoid a tag on whether it was a bunt or a throw up the line. I'm not quite sure.
I always liken the head-first slide to, in football, jumping on a fumble, because that's the way you think as a runner. You're like, I got to get it. It's mine. I need to claim it. So dive at it. Go get it. Sometimes it'll cost you a thumb or a wrist. Got to be careful. A lot of guys today, though, they wear that gear, a lot of the hand gear and stuff like that that you see out there. Of course, Mike Trout doesn't wear any of that.
That may change.
Yeah, it very well may.
Oftentimes, like for a guy like D. Gordon, all it takes is an injury before it does change. The hard part is when you're trying to get to second on a double. That's a base hit. Simmons knocks it down the line. Stanton trying to cut it off. He does, and then drops the ball. And Simmons is going to get a double. So with 1 out, Angels have a runner in scoring position, and Stanton is going to pick up an error you would expect. Oh, wait a minute. They are going to give him a double.
That's interesting. Did everything right. Even did the spin around. Watch this. Fields it. It's exactly what you want to do. Right-hander in right field. Spins around, puts himself in position. Just kind of bobbled it in the exchange from the glove to the hand.
I thought Simmons stopped.
He did. Well, he slowed down anyway.
Regardless of the scoring decision, there's a runner at second and one out. Phelps bends in a breaking ball for a strike. This is Ben Revere in Trout's spot. And they've changed that scoring. It's a base hit. Stanton does get the error.
Nice job pleading your case.
Well, I think Stanton would probably admit that he dropped that ball. Riddle fires it in time to get the speedy Revere. Simmons takes third. Angels have a runner at third, but there's 2 outs and a 6-2 Miami lead here in the 7th inning. On this Memorial Day weekend, always cool to be on AFN, American Forces Network. Wherever you're watching and listening, we hope you're having a safe holiday. Thank you so much for your service and what you mean to this country. Fastball is up. And if you're ever in Miami, stop by and say hello.
Valbuena up, hitting in the 4th spot today, 0 for 3 on the afternoon with a strikeout.
Now Phelps has got the camo socks and the cap and the shoes going. The beneficiaries of the proceeds of the sale of the caps, the socks, the jerseys, MLB charities. Welcome Back Veterans is the big, one of the big military benefactors of MLB charities. So they look cool, and it's a great charity. Pick one. Dadgum thing. Here's the 2-1.
Oh,
that one flipped into the seats.
I guess we'd be here either way now that he's fouled that ball off. 2-2 count. There you go.
Very nice. Well navigated.
Seen that a few times in the series. I guess worth mentioning. You see Luis Valbuena right there, kind of showing you that front hand. He keeps hitting out in front. I know a few Marlins hitters do that. That's a hitter kind of telling you where his point of contact is. He's really struggling with it. The ball's getting a little too deep. He wants to try to hit it more out in front. He's telling that to himself.
In the air, left center. Ozuna's calling for it. Nice stuff from David Phelps. Ziegler, Phelps, strong bullpen. 6-2 Miami. on top of the Angels. Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollinsworth. We talked at the outset of the telecast. The Marlins are trying to take baby steps here, and to win a series against the Angels, they have an opportunity, and it hasn't been easy. Big inning, big pinch hit by Ichiro, the JT Riddle home run, a 2-run shot, Tyler Moore with a sacrifice fly. Some nice hits and some nice rallies put together.
A lot of good things happening in this ball game. We'll start with Urania, who wasn't great today, but again, made some pitches when it mattered most. The Angels had a 2-1 lead. How about the Marlins battling back, coming up with some offense from some pitch hitters, as you mentioned, and then adding on to the lead? It's a great victory. Or I should say victory. We're not quite there yet, but I'm certainly getting that vibe. You think back into the dugout, just even the enthusiasm that I'm seeing down there, because they battled back in this ball game to get the offense rolling again.
And the bullpen. Look, Miami's bullpen has had some issues this year. Brad Ziegler came in. He looked sharp. David Phelps, 3 days in a row, has looked very good. Phelps is looking like he did last year when he was just super in 2016.
A lot of good things happening in that bullpen right now, and a lot of good things happening today for the Marlins. See if they can't wrap this thing up and win a series.
Well, that would be nice. And then you've got the Phillies coming in, and then the Diamondbacks coming in. So opportunity for the Fish right now. The Marlins and the Angels finishing off this 3-game set. Phillies are here tomorrow. Toyota brings you an inside look. Last 6 games. You see the pattern here?
They were due today.
Yep. And that's something that Don Mattingly would like to even out, rather than burst out for 10 and then lose games by scoring 3 and 1 and 2. Throw out some 5 spots, throw out some 6s and 7s, and try to cobble together a winning streak. What time's the barbecue tonight, by the way? Probably about 5 o'clock.
Yeah, cools off in the evening around here. 6:37.
Christian Yelich. Dehoas Guerra is still on the mound for the Angels. And it's Yelich, Ozuna, Bohr here in the 7th. 1 for 3 for Yelich. The same for Ozuna and the same for Bohr. All singles. The big spot in the order for the Marlins. From the top to the very bottom, the number 1 spot, JT Riddle, 2-run homer, RBI double. And the 9 spot, the Ichiro pinch hit run scoring single that tied it. Tyler Moore sac fly from that 9 spot as well. JT Realmuto and Derek Dietrich have doubles. Both those guys started rallies in the 5th and in the 6th.
Well, I know the board we just showed you explains a hot offense and a little bit colder the following day. And that box score explains what's been going on over the last week. And I will say this, it is a very positive sign. It's collective, and that's a lot of what you're seeing right now. So, meaning a few guys in this lineup are really starting to find their stroke and find their swing. Expecting this offense to be more, well, I should say, consistently better moving forward. It should happen.
Yelich cracks one down the line, twisting and turning, and foul. That was close. The other thing, you look for trends, and for the Marlins, you want to forget about the last 3.5 weeks in terms of winning and losing trends, and just look at this series. All of a sudden, the Marlins are starting to hit some doubles, and they haven't done that this year. It's either been a home run or a single, it feels like.
Well, I've been asked this question a few times. Why aren't they hitting doubles? Sometimes it's a tough one to answer, especially when you've got a team that's very good team batting average and hitting for power.
Yelich takes a rolling breaking ball. Strike 3 called.
We were all surprised at that, and I'm not sure there's one thing you really put your finger on as far as why this team wasn't hitting a few more doubles here in the first 2 months of the season, but they are starting to happen now.
Here comes Marcell Ozuna. Infield hit for Ozuna back in the 5th. Mike Scioscia the other day was talking about the Angels and their schedule. They are an even 500 right now, 26-26, 52 games. And Scioscia said, I can't believe that this season is almost a third of the way through.
There's definitely things for the Angels that they peg and say, okay, we're pretty happy that we're a 500 ball club. Well, there's one thing that really stands out that's probably frustrating them and everybody else in the American League West, and it's the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Yep. It's a 9-game lead for Houston. Ozuna pops it up. One and 2. Now, keeping in that theme of almost a third of the way through, I'm not sure what, it's not the quarter pull, I don't know what you call it on this Indy 500 weekend. But keeping in that theme, a lot of people felt the Rockies were just a flash of April. Here they are headed towards June, still on top of the West by a game over another surprising team, Arizona, who's here on Thursday for a 4-game series. 1-2. Breaking ball, Ozuna pulls it into the hole, cut off there. And the throw, Marte down to get it. Valbuena getting some help from his first baseman.
Well, everything about this quite routine, except the throw. Get those shoulders as square as one would like. Comes up a little short right there. Marte, nice job holding the bag, coming up with the backhand. Ozuna hustling all the way.
Here comes Justin Bour. Bour single back in the 4th on a liner to the left. Breaking ball for a strike. Check that. Ball 1. Ball 2. Arizona, by the way, is losing to Milwaukee 6-1. That's bottom 5. Colorado is leading St. Louis 1-0, bottom 3 in Denver. And the team on their tail, the Dodgers, who are 10 over, have the Cubs here in just a few minutes. Dodgers have shut the Cubs out a couple times already in that weekend series. And guess who's coming to dinner or lunch, I guess?
Well, I think that with your tone, I'm going to answer this question with Clayton Kershaw.
It's not Ross Stripling.
That's right.
It's Clayton Kershaw. Mets and Pirates are the night game tonight on this Sunday. It's in Pittsburgh. And Bour walks. So a 2-out walk for Bour. That brings up Real Muto. 1 for 3 with a double. Who's hot in baseball right now? Well, Boston's hot and Toronto's hot. Blue Jays are showing signs of life. They've won 5 straight. Boston's won 6 straight. Baltimore a 6-game losing streak. Texas a 5-game losing streak. Not a lot of streaks going in the National League. JT, that's a swing. Nationals an 8.5-game lead over Atlanta. Start of play today in the East. Milwaukee half game ahead of the Cardinals and Cubs. And we just talked about Colorado and Arizona and Los Angeles in that descending order in the West. changeup. It's 0-2.
That was only an inning ago. JT Realmuto got things going with a hustle double. Always good to see. That aggressiveness set things in motion. I was able to add on a couple runs.
Pitch is out. Texas about to snap that losing streak if they can get 3 outs in Toronto. It's a 3-1 lead for the Rangers. JT off of Guerra. Able to get it, and that was close at first. It almost looked like Marte came off the bag to get it. But out at first, 6-2 Miami. Has been outstanding in this one. First it was Brad Ziegler for a scoreless 6th, then it was David Phelps for a scoreless 7th. Wickren now takes the ball for the 8th, and you would think if everything stays the way it is, you'll see AJ Ramos in this game.
Well, Nick's been throwing the ball very well of late, last 3 outings. Scoreless outings, only the 1 walk back a week or so. A walk, 3 strikeouts. Shooting the ball very well right now.
The former Purdue Boilermaker closer, Nick Wickren. At 3.44 ERA. Storylines here. Jose Urena was a survivor in this one. Certainly wasn't sharp. Walked 6. Gave up a 2-run homer to Martin Maldonado. That erased a 1-0 Marlin lead, courtesy of Giancarlo Stanton's home run. And the Marlins got to Matt Shoemaker in the 5th inning. Big Ichiro pinch hit, RBI single to tie it. And then JT Riddle, a 2-run homer for a 4-2 lead. Riddle would have an RBI double in the 6th. Tyler Moore, a sacrifice fly as well. There's a Nick Wickren fan. Cole Calhoun is up. The other, and it's not a note, it'll be a headline, depending on the severity of it. Mike Trout left the ball game with a thumb injury. Suffered a head-first slide into second base, stayed in defensively, did not take his next at bat. We have not received any word from the Angels clubhouse. If we get it either during the game or after the game. We'll bring it to you, of course, after the game. Jeff Nelson, Craig Minervini for Marlins Live. One-two pitch missed, and it did.
Just barely.
Yep.
Good pitcher's pitch, Whitgren.
It's the end of the yellow brick road on that,
right?
Comet Trail or whatever we're calling it.
We like that. Calhoun a couple of walks his last 2 at-bats. Trying to get his season back online offensively. Big part of what the Angels do. If Trout misses any extended time, a lot will fall on the shoulders of Calhoun.
Calhoun strikes out. Whitgren gets the first out of the 8th inning. RBI Baseball returns. You got pick up and play, MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com. Breaking ball misses outside to Martin Maldonado. 2-run homer for Maldonado in the 4th. That was against Urena, who looked untouchable the first 2 innings. 6 hitters, 4 strikeouts. Retired everybody he faced. As it is, Urena 5 innings. He only gave up the 3 hits. Charged with 2 runs. 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. High fly ball. Ozuna makes a catch. Oh. I guess the unique thing about Urena's start is that he had a 42 pitch inning, and it wasn't his last. A 42 pitch 4th inning, and then came back and pitched the 5th.
Well, Rich, I think you would agree. It was pretty obvious the first time through the lineup there was a clear-cut path to success, what he was looking to accomplish. He was going fastballs into the righties, even to the lefties, establishing those fastballs in and then using his secondary pitches. And once that got away from him, it was almost like the game plan just kind of evaporated because he had so much success that first time through. It was like getting back to what he was doing well was very difficult to do.
So Trout's out of the lineup. Remember, Albert Pujols did not start the game. He is available to pinch hit or come in. But at his age, Mike Scioscia likes to give him off days, and day game after a night game is a no-brainer. Marte getting the start in his place. It's 1 for 1. Hit by a pitch, walked, and singled.
Marlins bullpen so much better in this series. Now I know there was 4 walks yesterday, but that's total. That's all they've done. I know that's a conversation we've had. Obviously, again, one today with Urena and his struggles with the walks. But for a team that has led baseball in walks from the pitching staff, good signs.
Count 1-2. Last year that Nick Whitgren, Brian Ellington got their opportunity to come in, and as young relievers get a taste of it. Both had a chance during the course of last season to pitch in some high leverage spots. And in Whitgren's case, that's one of the things the Marlins liked about him, is that he's always pitched in high leverage spots as a closer in college and through the minor leagues. course, there are some that will tell you every spot is a high leverage spot when you're pitching for a job in the major leagues.
That's the case usually early on in somebody's career, but once you've established yourself, you know, there's a kind of weave your way into a role, if you will.
Tried to bring that in through the front door.
It's a good try right there by Nick. He continues to take on more and more challenges with each passing outing. He's been that good.
Full count, 2 outs. Got him. Foul tip. Realmuto holds it. And Wickren walks off after a 1-2-3 8th inning. Miami in control here, 6-2. Five innings and keep it to 2 runs, but he did it.
But did it though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So the first 3 innings he was flawless, really. I mean, when you think about it, how dominant he was.
Here's David Hernandez, and Derek Dietrich takes a strike. Dietrich had a big hit in the 5th with a double to right. That got things started. He also started a really important double play that finished Ureña's day. 5-4-3 double play that got him out of trouble in the 5th inning. And he pops out to open up bottom of the 8th. And Christian Colon, who's had a eventful day, comes up. Doesn't have a hit, but a sacrifice bunt. Got that rally in gear in the 5th. And he walked in the middle of a 3-run rally, or rather a 2-run rally in the 6th.
Yeah, it's a big walk. Really was. Think about how that at bat went.
He shoots one right side. Nice play by Marte.
Decourt pitch hitting.
A.J. Ramos in Miami's bullpen. Gordon not in the lineup in this one. Getting a pinch hit appearance. Breaking ball from Hernandez.
JT Riddle kept it warm at the top spot today. Home run and a double. He's had a nice series offensively, 4 for 9.
Yeah, Riddle in the leadoff spot. Homer double. Hernandez, guy that pitched with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Was with the Braves to start the season. And he walks Gordon here with 2 outs in the 8th, and that brings Riddle up again. So here's Riddle, and Gordon might be on the move at first base. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. The home run was to right. It was a big one. 2-2 at the time. Miami had just tied the game. He sent it over the fence into Miami's bullpen. See the catcher Maldonado looking into the dugout, not for the pitch selection, but for what Mike Scioscia wants to do, whether he wants to throw to first, pitch out. So that call comes from the dugout. So the home run was in the 5th, and then Riddle in the 6th added a double on a really impressive swing, and not a swing you think a rookie would take. Right. Watch this.
Just an 0-2 swing, everybody. Yeah, foot down. Just took his hands and guided it down the left field line. That was a changeup. That was 3 consecutive changeups that he had seen right there, but that is such an advanced swing. That's understanding taking the lower half out with 2 strikes, slowing your approach down, and using your hands. I'm sure many have heard use your hands more, use your hands better, and at bat, that is a clear-cut example of what you want to do right there. 2 strikes, just took his lower half out, wasn't an overstride, wasn't a lot of weight transfer. That was just merely taking his hands to the baseball and keeping his hands straight through the swing. Home runs just happen. I got to be honest, that's his most impressive swing he's taken today for me. People don't realize how hard that is. That ball's tailing away. Look at the top hand, how he kept it straight and it didn't roll over till after the point of contact. It's impressive stuff.
And that was a big hit. It drove in run number 6. So he's knocked in half the runs in this ball game. Two and 0.
Hernandez run into a little bit of trouble here after picking up a couple outs on about 2 pitches to start the inning.
Gordon runs, Riddle takes, throw to second is not in time. Now that's a hit first slide, but as we talked about, Gordon, once he gets on base, puts the brace on that left hand.
The good one gets a good jump right here. Strong throw from Maldonado and beats it. I was laughing at the second base umpire because he knows he's getting ready to call him safe. He believes he's safe, but I'm not sure what he's looking for.
I think he wanted to see if Gordon stayed on the bag, and the Angels video room is looking for the same thing. 15 now for Gordon. He's got to try to chase down Billy Hamilton. And Riddle walks. Billy Hamilton, 26 stolen bases at start of play today. Charles Nagy is in. Meanwhile, on the south side of Chicago, Miguel Gonzalez of the White Sox is throwing a perfect game through 6 innings. We'll keep our eye on that one. David Hernandez, far from perfect here. A couple walks after 2 were out in the 8th.
Struggling with his command. JT Riddle picking up his 3rd walk on the season.
And that's the unique thing about Stanton in the 2 spot. You're almost, I know for the first few games, I have been, I would guess maybe an opposing pitcher might be as well, that all of a sudden top of the orders here, and hey, here's Stanton. You're so used to seeing him in the 4th or the 5th spot. Little tapper out towards short, charging is Simmons, and Stanton will beat it. I think he beats it anyways. And it's going to be a base hit.
Sure does. Gets out of the box really quick. Slow roller to short. Simmons playing deep. This is an all or nothing play and doesn't get the transfer.
So bags are loaded. Here's Yelich. Yelich does not have a grand slam in his career. Breaking ball, strike. 1 for 4 is Christian. 6 homers. 6 doubles now. He's got 3 doubles in this series.
Sat in a divot.
Maldonado was hoping it would hop back up to life and roll out across the plate.
See this on a golf course more than on a baseball field. Watch this. He's gonna kick, kind of find a little hole right there and just settle.
All it has
right there it is. There's its spot right there.
And all it has to be is on any part of the plate for a fair ball.
Right.
Hernandez, that curveball now out in front, 0-2. Phillies are here tomorrow. And the Reds are beating the Phillies 8-4 in Philadelphia. That's bottom 9. Yelich did not go. Counts 1 ball and 2 strikes. Arizona, of course, is in next. They're losing to Milwaukee 7-1, bottom 6. Diamondbacks are 11 over. The Phillies open play with the exact record the Marlins had, 17-30, 13 under. And that perfect game is over. Or as Hawk would say, over.
I think it's your fault for mentioning it.
Yeah, you're right.
You brought it up, man. I love it.
My commentary often alters the
outcome of games.
The future outcome of games. I got heat the other day for mentioning that the Angels pitcher Jesse Chavez had never picked a runner off, trying to illustrate that the Marlins might be able to run that night. And like 4 innings later, he picked someone off.
Yeah, D. Gordon off second base.
Of course it's my fault.
Made that happen.
Yelich pulls it down the first base line.
Word out of the locker room was D took an extra big lead because he heard you. Yeah, just kidding, everybody. Come on.
Well, this is good news for the Angels. X-ray's negative on Mike Trout's left thumb. A left thumb sprain.
Certainly good news. You never know. Certainly Mike Trout, one, certainly doesn't like to leave the field.
Yelich sends one up into the seats. Angels don't have an off day before facing the Braves tomorrow. Good battle here. Bags loaded. Yelich and the veteran right-hander David Hernandez. Two. Yelich waits him out to get the count full.
Well, this has been a great example, even just this inning. He's been able to load the bases without a ball leaving the infield. Quality at bats, battling back. Christian Yelich all the way back to 3-2, down 0-2. 10th pitch of this at bat. Remember, Hernandez picked up 2 outs on the first 2 pitches of this inning. Good job by the Marlins.
No place to put him. Hernandez, the 3-2. And he threw a slider. And Yelich just got a piece of it.
10 pitch at bat already. Maldonado back out to the mound, trying getting his guy Hernandez through this inning.
Well, you got Gordon over there at third base. He walked. Riddle at second. He walked. Stanton legged out an infield hit. And Yelich, who has never hit a grand slam in the big leagues. A 3-2. That's in, and Yelich walks. Gordon scores 7-2. Angels have a reliever up in the bullpen.
Really nice at bat by Christian Yelich right there. Down 0-2 in the count all the way back. Out the bases loaded walk, picks up an RBI.
Marcell Ozuna. Now he has 3 grand slams.
He's only 3 for 3 this season with the bases loaded.
Hernandez misses, and it's 2-0. Well, with the game tomorrow, the Angels, Charles Nagy, Mike Scioscia, really doesn't want to go down that bullpen again.
Relentless at bats by the Marlins, though. Even in this 7-2 ball game, the idea of not giving it away in a bat just because your team has a big lead. It's a great example of it. Christian Yelich, an 11-pitch at bat. D. Gordon started this inning off with a walk. JT Riddle a walk.
Ozuna into right field. That's a hit. Riddle will score. Stanton will stop. Ball is kicked. Stanton scores now. Yelich to third base.
Great swing by Marcell Ozuna. Pitch, outer third at the knees, drives it the other way. It's going to go as a hit for Marcell Ozuna. He's going to pick up an RBI, bases loaded, and an E9 as you see Calhoun kicking around out there just a little bit. Let everybody advance another base. See Stanton come around to score and Yelich over to third base. You see it right here. Christian Yelich, intense. Only to second, able to move up to third on that little boot. Well done.
And so Miami has busted out here for 9 runs and a 9-2 lead. And the Angels are going to go to their bullpen. Boers in the box, goes after the first pitch and flips it foul and out of play. Angels back into their bullpen. Kenyon Middleton.
It's the other night. Good stuff. He's got a big arm. They like him.
Grudgingly, Mike Scioscia goes to the bullpen. This has been a rough day for the Angels. First and foremost, Mike Trout leaving with a sprained thumb on a headfirst slide into second. And then the Marlins piling up 9 runs on 12 hits. To add to that, Scioscia having to go so deep in his bullpen now with the game at 9-2.
Hernandez put himself in a position that he really just couldn't throw a strike when he needed to. When he did, he was obviously paying for it. You saw Marcell Ozuna, the big base hit with the bases loaded. Ton of pitches that inning, up near 30. Get Middleton into the ball game. See that overpowering 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Angels are in a stretch without a lot of off days. Started with the series in New York, 3 there, 4 in St. Pete, 3 here in Miami, 3 against Atlanta, and then 4 against Minnesota. That one pops into the seats. Of course, the Marlins on this nice long homestand. Welcoming the Phillies tomorrow night, 6:30 start. Marlins live, 7:10 first pitch. Christian Yelich and the boys trying to finish off a series win here and then gather some of their own momentum forward. Middleton misses out.
Zuno will get a head start here. 3-2, 2 outs.
Everybody had a role in this one offensively. From the top, Riddle, 2-run homer, RBI double, Stanton a homer, Yelich an RBI and a hit, Ozuna 2 hits and an RBI, Bohr 1 for 3 with a walk. And a swing and a miss, and Middleton strikes out Justin Bohr. Miami's inning is over, but the Fish hang 3 more up there. It's 9-2. Florida brought to you by Southwest's Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep, get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance Event. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. On a beautiful holiday Sunday in Miami. Memorial Day holiday for those of you on Fox Sports Florida, for those of you on AFN, for those of you on MLB.TV, wherever you're watching, have a safe and fun rest of your holiday. Thanks to all of you watching on AFN for all that you do, the sacrifices you make. AJ Ramos into the ball game. You see that ERA, it took some lumps on the road trip. Ramos in here in the 9th as Nolan Fontana, a pinch hitter. Looks like Espinoza, and then Cameron Maben. Fontana, a little dribbler. Real Muto, nice play. JT hopping out there. It's just like the other night. Ramos, 1 pitch, got the save, 1 pitch, 1 out. Let's see if he can throw 2 more pitches and get 2 more outs.
That'd be nice. JT out from behind home plate. Well done. All or nothing play. Be able to barehanded throw on the run right here. Just more nice. Secure. Not always easy to do with a runner hustling down the line.
Ramos misses with a fastball. Danny Espinoza pinch hitting.
Well, it's been a struggle for Danny Espinoza, except in the 9th inning. He's got 3 home runs this year. That's tied Bryce Harper and Bellinger of the Dodgers for most in the 9th.
One. So it's Miami and Philadelphia tomorrow. Edinson Volquez, Jeremy Hellickson. Volquez 0-7 with a 4.82 ERA. Hellickson is 5-2. His ERA is in the 4s, 4.28. That's the Monday night matchup. Vince Velasquez, Justin Nicolino on Tuesday night. Of course, Wednesday's game is a day game.
The Philadelphia Phillies have had their struggles since we last saw them. In Philadelphia. In fact, I'm curious to see Hellickson tomorrow night. 4.28 ERA was hovering around 1.5 when we saw him about 4 weeks ago. He's had some struggles.
Maben now. Maben a 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts, a single and a walk. Espinosa will take second. Not so fast. He's got to go back. Colon makes the catch. And so it's down to this. Miami a chance to win a series. Andrelton Simmons.
Fastball in by Ramos.
Well, AJ getting a little work here. Hoping to sharpen up and get ready for the Phillies. Marlins hopeful to put him in some safe situations.
Right.
That's the weird thing. Even when Miami wins, it's often not a safe situation.
It's been a trying set of circumstances for a closer. Now 5 for 5 in save opportunities this year. He's been fantastic. It's the fact that there's only been 5 save opportunities, number one, and number two, that he has had some struggles in those non-save situations. That's where you get the bloated earned run average.
Bouncer third. Dietrich backs up, fires to second, got him at second base, and Miami wins it. AJ Ramos, JT Riddle. The last time the Marlins won a series, they were in San Diego. My goodness.
Well, we can put that to rest.
That's a long time ago. AJ Ramos finishes the deal. Miami a 9-2 win over the Angels. Lots of stuff to talk about on Marlins Live. A lot of heroes in this one. JT Riddle will be Craig's guest when we return.